Stupples, always great to see you. I'm curious, a lot going on in the LPGA. What's the top storyline in your mind going into the Chevron?
Well, I think going into this week, you have to realize that there's so much history that has been there in Mission Hills, and I think that's on every player's mind right now. What's going on at this moment in time, but you have other interesting storylines too. I mean, obviously Jin Young Ko continuing her form, even though she didn't win this week or last week. Sorry, it's still she's still that best player in the world. Nelly Korda won't be there, unfortunately, because of her not injury, but the illness with her blood clot. And obviously we wish her well with that. But so many storylines, new talent coming up, final spin round, the Mission Hills course, and the last chance to jump into Poppy's Pond for the person who performs the best. So much to really digest and take in this week.
So, Karen, it's very easy to say that this is just the Jin Young Ko show and we're all here to watch it, given what she's compiled over the last 6 months. But who are you anticipating among the elite players might actually try to disrupt that narrative some?
Well, certainly when you're looking at this week, so much of it depends on the course. I always feel like if the rough is up, then players definitely like your Jin Young Ko's, or obviously a Tiyai Shin now, having played so well this week. I mean, Patty Tavatanakit has been pretty quiet so far this season, but she's going in and defending. Brooke Henderson is a player who I find particularly fascinating this week. She's had 4 top 10s in her 5 starts this season, and it seems to be quiet so far for Brooke Henderson. But this week she has to make a transition from a 48-inch driver down to the 46-inch one. So she's going to have to make that adjustment. So that to me is a fascinating concept. But there's so much talent out there. I mean, you can't ever forget about Inbee Park. And there's a couple of sleepers that I think we have to think about this week. Charlie Hull from England, she's played well at Mission Hills, and I think she's going to continue to do so. She played well this past week as well. And even though Nelly isn't going to be there, I don't think we can ever really fall asleep on Jessica. I think she's due to win a big one, and it could be this week.
Karen, what emotions are you sensing from the players as Mission Hills has its last hurrah? Are they talking about it? Are they openly saying, hey, you know what, this is going to be kind of an emotional week?
They are, particularly the older players, your Stacey Lewis's of the world, and players that have been there a number of times and have grown up watching it, at the history of it. And it was always a dream of most players to really go there, to be part of the championship and to make the leap into Poppy's Pond. Every single player, when they're playing a practice round, stands on the edge of Poppy's Pond and kind of lets their mind wander to thinking about how they will make their jump or what their jump would be. And it is definitely a very sad thing to have that in the back of your mind, knowing that this is the final chance that this is going to happen. I know that they all feel that they're excited at the potential of where this championship is going to go. They feel it's going to be very much like what happened with the KPMG Women's PGA Championship, how it went from a championship that was kind of clinging on a little bit, and then it kind of has just blown up into into one of the best events on the LPGA schedule. And I think they feel this is what's going to happen here with Chevron too, even though everybody has so many good memories. It's the orange blossom, it's the bougainvilleas on the trees, it's the everything about Mission Hills is just a very special place. And I think everybody that's been a part of it in the past is going to be really upset that they don't get a chance to play here again. But they all know it's for the better of the tour and for the better of the women's game.
Karen, it's been 20 years since anyone got to make that leap into the pond in back-to-back years. That was Annika Sorenstam. And you mentioned Patty Tavatanakit, the defending champion, who's had a solid, unspectacular year, hasn't won since what was then the ANA Inspiration last year. It's 13th in the Rolex rankings. What are the realistic odds that she could be a back-to-back champion here?
I think it's a tough one. I mean, I always like to go on form. When you're going into a major, you don't want to get onto that driving range and think, okay, I've got to find something. I need to try and catch a little bit of lightning in a bottle just so I can get around this golf course. They're typically set up tough. You need to be on top of your game, and you really need to be focusing on your strategy, your planning, how you're going to get the ball around the golf course, not mechanics, how you're striking the ball or anything like that. I mean, Patty is doing quite well with her putting, so she's rolling the ball well still this season, but everything else has just been a little bit off for her. And you can't help but think that the expectations that she places on herself and that everybody now places on her, because she is a major winner, and we all know how powerful she is off the tee and how exciting she is to watch. I think the expectations on her shoulders might be a little too high for her to jump in, but wouldn't be surprised to see another Thai player make that leap. I mean, we mentioned Tiyai. I mean, she is in good form. And another Thai player that's been really quiet recently is Ariya Jutanugarn. She's been so close on that golf course, but hasn't quite managed to seal the deal. So I think everybody that has been close, that has kind of felt like they've had their hands on that trophy, this year it's going to hit them harder than others.
Karen, what about this buzz about Tiyai Shin, yesterday's winner at the age of 19? Is she next? Are you a believer? Is this going to be one of those fantastic careers that we're talking about 10, 15 years from now?
I believe it very much could be. She's so level-headed. She's so calm on the golf course. She has a game that I think is actually very similar to Jin Young Ko. I mean, it was quite funny to hear you talk about how she wanted to shape shots. I would say just play like Jin Young Ko. Jin Young Ko plays very straight golf. She hits the ball with very little movement, and she's very strategic with how she plays. And I think if Tiyai can model her game around Jin Young Ko's, I think she's going to go very deep into the World Golf points list. That's for sure.
Karen, Damon mentioned the 60% increase in the prize fund this week, up to $5 million. Is that kind of additional pressure going to take some people out of the reckoning, you think? Just the nerves will be too much with that much at stake?
I don't think it's that per se. I think if you're thinking about the money in any LPGA event, I really think you're taking yourself out of the equation anyway. People who win tournaments aren't thinking about the money. They're thinking about the quality of strike. They're thinking about how well they're playing, enjoying the game of golf and getting the ball in the hole in very few shots. The product of what playing well brings is right at the very back of your mind. And players that think about the money are the ones that tend to not do very well anyway. So whether you're playing for $1 million, whether you're playing for $5 million, I think that the outcome is going to be the same. It obviously will be life-changing for whoever wins if they haven't won a major before or if it's their first win, because they become a major champion. And I think it's that title and it's knowing that this is the final one that really puts the pressure on, as I said, particularly for players that have kind of felt like they should have won it in the past or have had an opportunity to win it, didn't quite get the job done. Those are the players that are going to really feel it if they're in contention.
Giant week, potentially an emotional one as well. Karen, thanks for hopping on. We'll be watching you on Thursday. We'll speak to you soon.
Can't wait to get there. Thanks, guys.